What's going on, guys? Coach Bronson here, and we're going to talk about the term muscle sparing. It's something that I hear a lot when people try to make a justification for why we need carbs, because carbs are muscle sparing or protein sparing. And I'm going to break it down for you, hopefully really simply, and explain why that is a nonsensical argument and why it doesn't matter or make any difference in how you should fuel your physical activity. All right. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope this information is helpful, and don't forget to share it if you find something in here that's useful. We want to help as many people as possible get information that can help them improve their quality of life. All right. So the idea of fuel, when we talk about fuel in the body, you guys know there's a difference between functional calories and fuel calories. If we're talking about fuel specifically, number one, that differentiation between functional and fuel and what we eat kind of should give you an indication of why the argument that carbs are protein sparing or carbs are muscle sparing is kind of a pointless argument. It doesn't really apply to anything, because if protein is not primarily used for fuel, okay, which is the way that we talk about it, right? Protein is used for muscle protein synthesis. It's used for hormone management. It's used for cellular repair. It's used for helping build our body and helping the mechanisms within our body function properly. Okay. Carbs and fat are used primarily for fuel. Can protein be used for fuel? Absolutely. If it needs to be. It's not a primary source. Your body will use it. Doesn't like to. It's expensive. It costs a lot. It costs more energy than it gets. It's not a efficient way for your body to provide itself with energy. Okay. It just doesn't want to do it. If it does do it, it does it at the detriment of your metabolism. Okay. Here's the thing. Think about this. Protein drives metabolism. Muscle mass drives metabolism. So if your body is at a point where it has to use protein or break down muscle to get at amino acids to use it for fuel, then you are literally sacrificing metabolic function for energy. Okay, this is just another differentiation between function and fuel. If you have to sacrifice function in order to fuel yourself, you are going in the opposite direction. You are not optimizing health. You are negatively impacting health. All right, think about that for a second. That's the foundation. That's the basis of what we're talking about. So when someone argues with you that carbs are muscle sparing or protein sparing, think about this. Anything that you put in your body that is fuel is protein or muscle sparing, because your body by definition wants to use that last. So if you make any other fuel available, it's going to use that. Fat is protein sparing, muscle sparing. Carbs are protein sparing, muscle sparing. Alcohol is protein sparing, muscle sparing. If I drink alcohol, it is the first thing on the oxidative priority list that my body wants to use for fuel. It takes precedent over everything else. My body has to get rid of it as soon as possible. Okay. Now, that argument is only applicable to one area, and that is fuel burning. It doesn't take into account any of the other aspects of how our bodies react to the things that we put into ourselves. Okay. So let's use alcohol, for instance. Alcohol is muscle sparing. Okay. In the initial utilization of how it is processed for fuel. Okay. That doesn't mean there aren't additional effects. The long-term effect, let's call it the post-fuel utilization respect, is higher oxidative stress, toxicity, and overall damage to our body. Okay. It is a net negative effect. Okay. And that's what I want you guys to remember and think about in this whole process. What we're talking about is, are the things that we're putting into our body creating a net positive or a net negative? Net positive or net negative? What is happening in the processing, in the utilization, in the impact to my metabolic function beyond just, is it fuel? Okay, we're getting beyond calories. This is another reason why the calories crowd is missing out on a lot of the other effects and how things work in our body. Okay, alcohol is a great example. We just covered that. Let's talk about carbs. Carbs are muscle sparing, protein sparing. If I have carbs, if I'm eating carbs, if carbs are available, my body is going to utilize that, okay, before protein for fuel. Okay, don't get confused with oxidative priority where protein is in front of carbs. Protein is not used for fuel. We're talking about fuel utilization, not muscle protein synthesis. Okay, different thing. Okay, same thing with alcohol. If I eat carbs and it is a primary fuel source, yes, I won't use as much protein or muscle. I won't break down muscle and utilize that for fuel. I will increase oxidative stress. I will increase inflammation. I will get to a state of chronic cortisol. Okay. Cortisol is beneficial until it's chronic and it's overproduced. Okay. I will have increased recovery times. I will have an increase in adipose tissue, particularly if I'm over consuming the carbs. Okay. It will turn into fat. I will have decreased athletic performance because the carbs will shut down and decrease, they'll shut down lactate being put into a cycle. Okay, we know that in ketogenesis, lactate is utilized for gluconeogenesis to create glycogen. If I don't need to create glycogen because I'm eating carbs, that lactate builds up. So it decreases my lactate threshold, which decreases my overall muscular performance. Okay, so when you ingest carbs, you are actually decreasing your physical performance. It is a net negative. Inflammation, oxidative stress, lower lactate threshold, longer recovery times between sessions. All of the above. When you have fat as a primary source of fuel, when you're a fat adapted athlete, again, also muscle sparing, protein sparing. Okay, lower oxidative stress, better energy management. Okay, not only is it providing you energy for all sorts of different exercises in the oxidative pathway, but it is feeding into the gluconeogenesis and allowing a lactate, acetate, and pyruvate to be turned into glycogen. So you increase your lactate threshold because your body is actually utilizing lactate for fuel and it's not filling up that store as fast. So you have higher levels of performance across a bunch of different ways of doing activity. Okay. Faster recovery times, less inflammation. Okay. So when someone is talking to you about carbs being protein sparing, just remind them all additional fuels are protein sparing. It's about what is it doing for you overall in the net positive versus net negative long-term effect of metabolic function and physical performance. Okay. Improve your quality of life by looking at the big picture, not just fuel.